Father's Day is just around the corner, and if you're going to be spending some quality time with the old man, then here's 5 fatherly films that you can watch together to make that date perfect. But we're not going to call it a date because that's your dad, and that would be sick and wrong. Number 5, Nebraska by Alexander Payne, starring Will Forte and the old as balls Bruce Dern. When David discovers that his dad wants to travel from Montana to Nebraska to claim a $1 million sweepstake prize, he agrees to take them on the road trip despite the fact that they don't get along very well and the prize is clearly a scam. It's funny, it's sad, and the stunning black and white photography beautifully captures the many wrinkles on Bruce Dern's old face. Number 4. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So following the disappointment of Temple of Doom, remember that? Remember when Temple of Doom was the bad Indiana Jones film? I mean, after Crystal Skull, Temple of Doom seems pretty good. Still incredibly racist, but a good film nonetheless. Anyway, following the disappointment of Temple of Doom, the Indiana Jones series bounced back with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, in which Indy teams up with his dad, played by Sean Goddamn Connery, to track down the Holy Grail. And like dads always do, Henry Jones Sr. embarrasses Indy in front of all of his pals.
We named the dog Indiana.
You are named after the dog?
Number 3. Eraserhead, the debut film from the king of surreal cinema, David Lynch. Henry Spencer is shocked to discover that he and his girlfriend have had a baby, but they're not sure if it is a baby because it looks more like a tiny monster wrapped in bandages, so they move into a flat together before she leaves and he has to care for the monster baby by himself. The monster baby develops warts, he cuts the baby open, reality collapses, everything blows up, and then he falls in love with a lady who lives inside a radiator. You know, that old chestnut. Lynch's films are heavily influenced by dreams, and Eraserhead is no exception. David Lynch wrote it and directed it when he was on the verge of becoming a father himself, and it plays out like a soon-to-be father's twisted anxiety dream. So if you want to know the kind of messed up nightmares your dad had before you came along, you can watch this. Number 2, The Bicycle Thief. That's right, we got 3 black and white films in this list, and this one's in Italian, because you seek your dad's approval and you want him to think you're cultured. Also, this is a really good film. A poor father has his bike stolen, which is his only source of income, so he and his son go looking for it. Now, a lot of classic films get called timeless, even though that's not really the case. Like, when was the last time you watched Gone with the Wind? Like, I might get hung for saying this, but I wouldn't recommend it. Whereas this absolutely holds up. And number 1, The Royal Tenenbaums by Wes Anderson. Gene Hackman plays Royal Tenenbaum, the estranged father to 3 child prodigies who peaked early and didn't really amount to much as adults. When he runs out of money for the hotel that he's been living in indefinitely, he decides to fake stomach cancer so he can move back into the family home and in doing so reconnects with the family that he abandoned. I love this film. The cast is incredible. You've got a mix of great actors and normally okay actors putting in surprisingly great performances. I mean, Luke Wilson's great in this. Luke Wilson! But amongst the huge cast and the array of subplots, Gene Hackman steals the show as the patriarch of the Tenenbaum family, and if I haven't already sold you on it, Danny Glover wears a bow tie. I mean, if that does nothing for you, then we have nothing in common. Yeah, no, I'm actually not going to be able to see you today. I've got like 5 films I need to watch. But you have a lovely Father's Day.